Well, good morning, everyone. Yaffee is not back. You've still got April Marie here filling in as he is on daddy. I keep saying daddy duty, but that just sounds so weird. He is on he's on daddy leave with that beautiful baby of his. So I'm excited to be here, and even more excited to get to talk to his regular, one of his regular guests, Congressman Barry Moore. Welcome to the program, Congressman.
Good morning, April. Great to be with you.
Great to have you here. I know you are out and about working really hard on the campaign. Can you tell us a little bit how that's going? What are you up to this week? Where have you been?
Yeah, so actually we are actually on our way this morning. We're going to be speaking up in Anniston, and then I'm going to be in Troy, and then back North Alabama towards the Shoals area later this week. So just making the rounds. I think I'm doing some stuff in Auburn as well. So we're on the road as always, but hearing great things and just out meeting the people. There are great people all across the state of Alabama. So it's always fun. That's the fun part of the job, is meeting the people.
Well, and any good politician, any good candidate knows that at the end of the day, big endorsements are great to have. We just heard that Trump ad, the ad highlighting Trump's endorsement of you, but it's the people you meet. It's the people who get out and vote who really matter.
That's exactly right. And we've always been just a great grassroots group. Heather and I, the years we've been doing this, I guess I've been in D.C. for 5 years now, but you run every 2 years in Congress. And so our districts got redrawn, and the last cycle they drew the only House Freedom Caucus guy to his district, the courts did. So we had to go down and run and meet folks in Baldwin, Mobile County. And it's just, as you meet them there, just like I said, across the state. And we're finding that now as we move north in Alabama, whether it's Huntsville or Tuscaloosa or wherever we're going, it's just, they're good people. And the grassroots, that's the great thing. I mean, there are patriots across the state, and after they get to know you and you get to know them, they become friends for life.
Yep, absolutely. Well, the endorsements do not hurt, though, and you've got some strong ones. Of course, most everybody has heard by now President Donald Trump is supporting you, but some of your colleagues in the House and even some senators have endorsed you recently. Tell me a little bit about those.
Yeah, so Jim Jordan, obviously, Jim and I serve on Judiciary Committee. Polly and he are good friends of Heather and I, and having Jim's endorsement, of course, as you get Senate Conservatives PAC on board, about 16 or 17, maybe even more House Freedom Caucus members have endorsed me. Keith Self, who's the Green Beret from Texas, Warren Davis, an Army Ranger from Ohio, and so as well as Tim Scott from Carolina and Bernie Moreno from Ohio, the senators, Cynthia Loomis, who was one of the founding members of the House Freedom Caucus, who's now a senator, she's endorsed us, and so Rick Scott from Florida. We've just had it's just been a coalescing behind, because we are a known commodity in D.C. And if you saw my heritage score came out yesterday, I have a 100 heritage score, which is a conservative. I mean, that is kind of the benchmark for many people. And to get 100 with heritage means that you're voting Alabama, you're voting conservative values in D.C. But I think the thing that helps me is that I'm an honest broker in D.C. Like I said, I've been there 5 years. And I don't always vote with leadership, obviously, but they know that I'm.
Yep.
And I'm going to help move President's America First agenda. You're not going to get perfect in every bill. You just can't do that. There's 435 versions in the House. You can always stand on your principles, and there's a practical solution, but you're never going to get the perfect. And so we've been able to work through, as like I said, being a member of House Freedom Caucus, having a 100% heritage score, and being an ally with the president to move his agenda. Those are the things I think that make us able to pull so much support from not only within D.C., but within the state of Alabama. And so things are coming together. We're feeling really good. And as we're leading in the polls now and having good success on the road out here meeting people, and the endorsements certainly are helpful.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, when you're on the road, what I have long learned is that's really where the issues and that are the pulse. The media will try to drive an agenda in terms of what they think is the most important thing. But you're going to really hear what's most important when you're at restaurants having lunch, when you're giving speeches and people are coming up to you afterwards. What are you finding just within the last week or so people really want to talk to you about? Is it the shutdown of DHS, Iran? What are you hearing most about?
Yeah, I think the shutdown DHS was part of the problem. I think what President Trump has done with ICE has opened up. I mean, I've flown 2 times in the last 3 or 4 days, and it's the ICE guys working that. I thanked them yesterday at an airport because they're just moving the people through. But in addition to that, obviously, the war in Iran, people want us to take care of that job and do a good job and get it done. And so those are things. Obviously, the media is pushing affordability. They don't talk about gas prices when Biden was there, but it goes up during the war with Iran. And so people hear about that and they ask you about that. But those are the kind of things I'm hearing out there right now. I think most part of what we're seeing is in Alabama, people are pleased with what the president's doing. They see him as a courageous leader, fixing problems that should have been fixed for decades, and he's doing the work that needs to be done. And then I'm hearing good things on the big beautiful bill, because like I've had people call me and say, thank you, we got more money back as a married couple working than we have historically. And so we're starting to see those tax refunds, people seeing they're paying a lot less taxes this year. And so I've actually got calls, people thanking me, and people that see me out there as they're filing going, hey, thank you. We actually appreciate the tax cuts in the big beautiful bill. So you get concerns about fuel prices, but they're grateful because of the war in Iran, but they're grateful for the tax breaks that we gave in the big beautiful bill.
Well, looking at what's going on in Iran and just looking across the globe and what President Trump has done, we heard from liberals when Trump put Hegseth in his current position. We have heard from people who weren't sure how Rubio was going to do as Secretary of State. What are your thoughts watching them step forward into this, the roles they have and how they're doing with Trump's agenda?
I think they're doing an incredible job. I mean, President Trump, I think in the first term, he trusted the D.C. swamp. I mean, he trusted in 2016, he went in and, I'm the executive here. They're going to do what I ask. And in many cases, the swamp, certainly the DOJ weaponized against him. I think he's done such a better job of putting key people in key roles. And whether it's Rubio as Secretary of State, Pete Hegseth, obviously as Secretary of War, the president has surrounded himself with some true leaders, and there are some bright spots, I think, in the cabinet, and certainly the agenda that the president's pushing. And I think, I don't know who it was, Jimmy Kimmel was hitting Mark Wayne Mullen for being a plumber and a business guy, but he's going to be a heck of a secretary for DHS because he's a tough guy, but he's a business guy. He gets it. And the Secretary of Navy that I flew down with last week when we announced Hadrian, the new submarine manufacturing facility up in Northwest Alabama, that guy was a business guy. And the president approached him. He said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll help fix the Navy. And we did this thing with Hadrian in 12 months. And that is unheard of through the departments and the agencies and the red tape. The way they're moving the needle and they're doing it in such an efficient manner, it's interesting to watch, and I think it's good for the country.
No, I think you're absolutely right. You nailed it on. And Kim, I talked yesterday about Kimmel's comments on Mark Wayne Mullen and just how detached people are from the reality of even what college degrees have become. This is a big thing. Do you really need the college degree if you've got the real world experience, knowing now what's happened to our colleges?
Yeah, the ruling elite, I mean, they almost look down their noses at blue-collar workers. I think that's why we're picking up so much support as Republicans. We're becoming the working man's party. In addition to that, the business owners party and the Patriots party and the America First people. And so we have an interesting group within the movement in the Republican Party. And I think the fact that Kimmel was talking down his nose at Mark Wayne because he's actually a guy who has a few calluses on his hands, I think that's what we need more of in D.C. I mean, I'm a garbage guy that came from a small business background. I have calluses on my hands, and we need more of that in D.C. We need guys that are signed in front of paychecks that understand that when you send your money to D.C., it needs to be managed in an efficient manner and needs to accomplish the purpose in which the American people trust us in government to handle.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. So what we're seeing in the U.S. Senate right now, just absolutely stalemate coming because Democrats are blocking this funding. What do you see happening with that? What do you want to happen with that?
I think we need to, and I've been saying this, Coach has been saying this, we need to blow through this filibuster thing. The Democrats, they're using that 60 vote thing to shut down the president's agenda. I mean, and whether it's funding of DHS, we've done 11 or 12 approach bills. If we can get this DHS thing figured out, it'll be the first time in 30 years that Congress has funded all 12 appropriations bills in regular order. We haven't done that in 30 years in this country. The only thing now that stands in the way is the Democrats, and they're putting illegal aliens ahead of the American people and our own public safety. And so it just, I would like to see us get through the filibuster. I don't think, because the only two Democrats that held it up last time were Sinema and Manchin. They're both gone. So if the Dems ever get power in the Senate, they're going to blow through it. They'll nuke it day one. And so why not go ahead before the midterms and move these items that are so very important to certainly the Save America Act, just making sure that U.S. citizens. I think that we know that the polling's out there. 85% of the American people, doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican, want American citizens voting in American elections. Yet somehow the Democrats are not listening to their base. They're not listening to any of their people because they've been hijacked by this radical left that wants to import voters and displace American people voters and cancel them out. And certainly they want them counted in a census. So we need to get rid of this filibuster thing, go ahead and get the 12 approach bill finished across the finish line, get the Save America Act, and push the President's America First agenda. The country will be much better for it.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call. Tell our listeners where they can find out more about you. They can see where you're going, get to a campaign event, all of those things. What's the best place to find you?
Yeah. Thank you for asking. Yeah, BarryMooreForAlabama.com. People can go on there. We schedule where we're going to be and let folks know what's going on with our campaign. Like I said, we're in a good spot. We're building so much momentum, and so we're excited and looking forward to May 19th.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call. Thank you so much, and you have a wonderful day.
Thank you, April Marie.
All right. That was Congressman Barry Moore, of course, running for U.S. Senate. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, he said a few things I want to get into. I really can't stress this enough. The night and day difference between Trump administration 1 and Trump administration 2 and the direction our country is going in. I look at this and I'm like, woof, doing things right. And we really are on the right path. And I think we do have a deep bench for when Trump's term is over. All right, back in just a second. You're listening to April Marie, filling in for Yaffee.
You're listening to Yaffee on WVNN.
The NFL Draft, presented by Bud Light, is coming to Pittsburgh, and it's your chance to witness the future of the game for free from April 23rd to April 25th. Feel the energy of the NFL Draft. See the Vince Lombardi Trophy and Super Bowl rings. Meet NFL players and legends. Enjoy interactive games and live music performances, and be there as the future of the NFL takes center stage. The NFL Draft starts April 23rd. Register for free entry at nfl.com/draft access today.
Vince Colonnese is redefining news talk with The Vince Show.
It is a reflection of your response to this program that we get to take this thing to the next level. These gigantic shows. This is going to be so much fun. It's unbelievable.
In-depth interviews, live caller interactions, and a front row seat to the most important conversations of the day.
I've got updates. I've got big stories. We'll sort through the truth of what's really going on. So buckle up. Here it comes.
The Vince Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Full Send Golf.
You guys know how much I really, really love golf, and I think every week would be dope to post on the Golf Channel. I want to get a lot of guests on here.
Salim's going to take lead. I'm down to be in it. It's not really work to play golf.
Join the party on the golf course.
I was like, let's go to the range.
Oh.
So what are we putting on it?
We said 10K, right?
10K? All right.
We probably bet more than all the other golf channels, right?
10K, 9 holes.
Those guys bet for like cookies.
I feel like I'm going to shank it.
This guy's been training like a Navy SEAL when it comes to golf.
I'm very, very excited. You excited?
Yeah.
Full Send Golf. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.